Welcome back to the M.A.D.House, episode 9, bonus episode 1. Hopefully, all this is set up correctly and YouTube approved my membership structure. I don't think $5 is too steep, but think of it as all the extra money that you think that is not worth paying. It's going towards just supporting the art. It's the sentiment that counts. Anyways, came here to answer a very important question today, or at least put one on the table, and that's the question. That is the pig heart question. It's something I've been thinking about. Certainly, it's something I've been joking about. Me and my sister have been for many years now, because we've been kind of keeping track of the pig heart transplant game, and it hasn't totally, it's not there yet. But we keep getting articles talking about how big advances in the pig heart transplant game. And my sister was a vegan for a time. I tried being a vegan for a bit because it's pretty fucked up that we kill animals, the cute little guys. They probably have a right to live too and not get a torturous existence into a horrible death like a chicken. And by the way, I'm cooking chicken right now I think about it. And it's kind of odd because it's chicken leg quarters, and all they do is just like take the feathers off of a chicken, and that's it. They put it in the bag, and there you go. I mean, they do other stuff like bleaching and shit, but it's just so, like, when I get finished eating the leg quarter, it just feels so like it's so disgusting. I ate a guy. It's not the same when I eat chicken nuggets, because I don't know. I never seen a chicken nugget walking around, but I have seen a chicken walking around with them luscious, juicy ass legs. Anyways, but when it comes, it's one thing to eat animals. People say it's natural or whatever. Fine. You really don't want to debate somebody when they start appealing to human nature in general. But, so I'll leave it there. I eat meat, whatever. But I do feel like, it's one of my goals to maybe get to the point where I'm not eating meat. But I'm not trying to make a vegan point. I'm not trying to proselytize that to you. You do what you do. It doesn't really matter what you eat in terms of the morality of the world. There's other things going on. But in terms of the pig heart thing, it seems to me perfectly emblematic of, like, maybe I feel like whenever I think of the pig heart, I think of someone just having like just a horrible, just never take care of themselves, like on the way to just die of a heart attack, and there's like a bunch of like fat and shit in the heart. They're dying of heart disease. You know what? I can extend my life by 5 years. I put a pig heart in there, so just fucking put it in me. I'll pay the price. And it's just like I just imagine just the upper middle class, American who spent their whole life consuming garbage and Hungry Man's. They get to like 65, their retirement age, and they just want to spend the last 5 years of their life, they spend the last 5 years of their life, fishing and on dick pills and heartburn medication. And that's the type of person I think who would get a pig heart. Obviously, there's like stuff that you can't control. You probably need a heart transplant, but that's what I always go to. And it seems so immoral to me to like kill a beautiful, innocent, little smart little guy who's being like selectively bred to have a heart perfectly suitable for that fucking hairless ape who eats just fucking corn syrup all day to extend his life 5 years. There's something darkly funny about that. Would I get a pig heart though? If I ever get to that point in my life where I feel like, oh man, my mind's still here, my heart is being shitty right now, it's beating irregularly, it's doing like, it's like a trap beat. It's like you listen to my heart, it's a trap beat going on there right now. Maybe I should get one of these pig hearts for something, happens before it explodes. I don't know. That's a tough decision. But I feel like by the time like I'm 65, the pig heart transplant game it'll be popping. So I think it'd be one of those things. There's no what's it called? Moral consumption or capitalism, all that nonsense. So I would use that phrase as justification for me to also get in the pig heart game, but it still is pretty fucked up to just extend our immoral lives so we can just eat more bacon and pump more pollution into the air and watch more Marvel movies. It's pretty cool. Being an American is a pretty cool thing. But I was reading about this though, like something else, like the history of animal transplant, like organ transplants. And like in the 1960s, they tried a chimpanzee heart transplant to a guy, and it worked for about 2 hours, and the guy died. And I thought, wow, that's pretty fucking interesting. So we are going to get to the point where we have successful, you'll be able to live for years and years afterwards, animal transplants. They did that in the fucking 60s when they were just improving with the science and stuff, where it's like, yeah, we're just going to put a fucking, you got your dick blown off in the Vietnam War, we're just going to put a dolphin dick on you, see how that works. Oh, it falls off, that's cool too. But it's like, so I think by the time, we get to Cyberpunk 2077 in real life, we'll have that. I think that'd be pretty cool. But enough with the fucking organ transplants. My mom just texted me, look at the live news. Let's see how many whites die by cops today. What the fuck? What's going on? Just got this text right now. Let's type in news. It's just a bunch of election stuff. Oh, Trump supporters stormed the Capitol. What's going on? Oh my. So on lockdown Tuesday, supporters of Donald Trump, spurred on by his comments and angered by his loss, breached police lines and stormed the seat of American democracy in a bid to stop the peaceful transfer of power. The mob of pro-Trump protesters forced their way onto stairs and inside the building itself shortly after lawmakers inside enter a joint session of Congress to certify President-elect Joe Biden's win. Capitol Police told occupants of the Capitol to shelter in place and lock doors throughout the building, including the doors to the Senate and House chambers. Mike Pence, who was presiding over the session, was reportedly rushed out of the Capitol. Members of Congress inside the House chamber were told by police to don gas masks. Lawmakers were reportedly being evacuated. This is according to usnews.com. Holy smoke. So yeah, I don't know if any of them got fucking killed. God, but they had to order fucking, who was the National Guard on those George Floyd protesters in front of the White House. But these fucking, like, those are the type of people that I'm talking about, who's going to be at the end of their life, who spent their whole life, I'm not blaming them for this. Everyone, whatever. Let's just say they're the pig heart transplant demographic. Well, they're the ones going to be able to get it and afford it. There's probably plenty of poor people who need it, but they're just going to die at 55 anyways, so they don't have the money to get that shit. But yeah, I'm recording this on Wednesday the 6th. I'm recording this a day earlier than I, supposed to. I wanted to record these on Thursday, have it uploaded by Saturday, but I'm having a rough day today, and I think talking to a microphone, trying to make some jokes, might lift my spirits, because the last episode I didn't really like. Yeah, I gave it a 6.75 out of 10. It was all right, but not that good, Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, I don't think it's wild. But that should be somewhat motivating, like somewhat what's the word? I can't think of it. But like how easy they were able to get into the building. Like, imagine if you had to organize, left wing sort of thing, try to take the Capitol. You would meet resistance after you took the buildings, but there was there's no defense there. These institutions are incredibly brittle, and the Trump supporter, they don't see or know that. They just don't give a fuck. That's why they'll never be successful in what they want. But they do have that stick-to-itiveness that no matter where you're on a political spectrum, you gotta respect. So I mean, if you're a left winger, I think we should all come together. But that's the thing, though. If we all get organized, that telegraphs what we're gonna do. These people are probably not that organized at all. They probably just all had the same idea to go there on the day that something was happening. It was very much a reaction to something that was happening that day when they were ratifying the votes, to make sure that Joe Biden would be winning. But man, wild stuff. So I was gonna do a what's in the news segment, but there you go. I didn't know I was gonna talk about, but there you go. Big newsworthy stuff. This morning, the fucking black guy in the Georgia black guy senator won. It be Kelly Loeffler. There you go. And John Ossoff looks like he's about to win. He's up by 0.4%. So that looks like a pretty tight lead. I mean, a pretty comfortable lead, I should say. He's going to probably go. That will only make the Senate, I think, 49-51 in favor of the Republicans. So still nothing's changing in terms of the majorities. But there is another Senate election happening somewhere. I don't know. There's one senator that isn't determined who's that going to be, but I forget what state that's in. But who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I did want to do a response to the last episode. I guess I already kind of did it. There's not many. The last episode got 2 views on YouTube. I don't think I got anything on SoundCloud or iTunes, but I am on iTunes, so check it out there and support the cause. And yeah, I didn't think that last episode was that good. And the sad thing about that, if you do, like if someone just happens to find my podcast on iTunes or SoundCloud, they're gonna get that episode. Not gonna get this one until like a month from now. And I think that episode is just, it's a shame. I had some moments, but it's a shame. But yeah, there's no comments or anything to reply to, any feedback. But that's fine. I'm used to that, baby. I'm used to being alone with my own content, my own thoughts. And some other thing, I just wrote some notes that remind me some words to remind me some stuff, and I wrote down here: cops are just fatter soldiers. I think that's what we need to think of cops at all times. That they're just occupying military, but they're just like out of shape and kind of inept, and not even they're like fat. They're still not in the shape of a soldier guy. Because think of it, the soldiers, yeah, they probably have like fucking Applebee's and Subway at the base in Afghanistan, but they still they still work out and stuff. A cop, they just put the suit on, the vest and everything, and then they're done. They don't have to do anything else in that. They eat the same. They still eat the Applebee's in the Burger King or whatever. They're just not working out, probably, most of them. Their workout is like handling the recoil of their gun of a pistol on the firing range. That's like they extend their workout. Which I gotta say, it is something. I do. The one time I shot a gun, I did enjoy it quite a bit. I had a rifle, and I don't know if I've told this story before. I feel like I have. I told this story so many times, but I don't know if I ever got it down somewhere, like on a video. At the time that I think I was like 11 or 12, and I was by my grandfather's house, and my sister was there, my mom was there, and my grandfather was like, "Hey, I got a possum in the cage. You want to shoot it?" And I was like, sure. And then he gave me a rifle, and my sister found out what was about to happen, and she was crying like, "No, don't do it, what, no." And then she had to run inside because she couldn't see that. And damn, maybe I did tell the story before. Fuck, I have no one else here to tell me that I told the story before, but I feel like I told it before, but whatever. So I got the gun, aimed it at its head, and pulled the trigger. And the thing goes wild. It's like it's flailing around, just in immense pain. I'm like, oh, I guess that's what a thing looks like when you shoot it, I guess, in the head. But no, I shot it like in this cavity between like the brain, like somewhere, I guess, in this like nasal cavity. But I whatever. I definitely, if I did get in the brain, I didn't get it like in a good spot where it died. Because you can get shot in the head with a certain caliber of round as a human, and you'll still live. There was who was this guy? There was like a mob hit on some politician. He got shot in the head, but since it was like a .38 round, he survived it, and the guy fucked the hit up. But if you use a smaller caliber, it'll squiggle around in your brain, just like turn your brain into fucking applesauce, and you're done. That's the type of round that the cops have, of course. Because they're trying to fuck you up. That's so fucked up. Shouldn't this have like a round that goes, it does the least amount of damage, but it still hurts. Like it doesn't feel good to get shot in the head, I imagine. I wouldn't know. I don't want to find out. But why are you trying to kill the guy? Like it's a criminal. I mean, even if you want, like, isn't it better from their perspective to have the guy in jail doing prison labor than, you just murdered some guy? But I guess they're in it for the murder, maybe. I don't know. But so my grandfather told me, "Hey, you didn't shoot it, you didn't kill it, so I'll give you another bullet. I'll put the thing in there." And this is some sort of like small caliber Winchester rifle of some sort. No scope, didn't need a scope. And again, put it up to his forehead. Poor fucking thing. Boom, shot it dead, right in the brain. And I didn't feel bad. It was not a good feeling. It felt good to shoot a gun, but it was not good to kill a thing. I don't know how people could do that. Oh, I think you could hear that noise of my chicken cooking. But I don't. Yeah, I never want to do that again. I definitely don't want to hunt. That's not appealing to me. Like if I could get like oh, this was something. I was talking to somebody about this. If I did like a vegan hunter series, I feel like this is a thing on YouTube, and I do this very frequently. I come with an idea, and I think, oh, it's such a good idea, and I think, oh, this probably exists on YouTube. I don't even want to look it up, because if I look it up and I find that it is a real idea, I'm just gonna feel so bad on myself. So I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure vegan hunter is probably a thing on YouTube. But it would be like where you have like a bow and arrow, and at the end of the bow, instead of having like so it could penetrate, you have like the little what is it, the little suction cup thing, like the toy bow and arrow like you get at school, not at school, when you're a kid. But it's still like the industrial, murder weapon bow, but the arrow itself is pretty thick, but the actual point of it is just a little suction cup. So you aim at the deer and you hit on the butt, and now it has a little arrow stuck on his butt, and it'll still probably go crazy or whatever and panic, but you didn't hurt it. And I think that'd be cool. It'd be cool, like now you could kind of like hit bald eagles then, because I'm not hunting it, I'm just playing with it, and that's not a felony. And then yeah, you could probably like, it'd be interesting what that would look like if you would try to shoot skeet with that. That'd be interesting. I know people don't shoot skeet with bow and arrows. I don't think. I've never seen that before. I don't know how it worked to do a safe shotgun, because even like the flechette rounds are not meant to kill people, I don't think. But that's still probably pretty dangerous. You can't just like play with that. So yeah, flechette is for killing birds, I think. But if you shot at like a deer or something, I think it would just run away, or a guy would just run away. Yeah, but yeah, maybe one of these days when I have money to buy such stupid equipment and to record such a retarded video, maybe I'll do a little vegan hunter video, and I'll go out, because I live in Louisiana, the land of sportsmen, or something like that. Doesn't really have much else to offer, besides various STDs, which we have that in spades, baby. Yeah, I don't feel bad about people hunting. I'm not gonna moralize about that, but it's like, just know you're just doing that because you get some sick thrill out of it. We got fucking enough meat at Walmart. Just get that if you want the meat. But no, it's not freaking from the source. Which you could eat you could eat it raw if you just eat it right off the freaking, like you get it quickly. So I guess you're in it for that, but. Nah, you just in it for a freaking thrill to kill something. But there was this odd thing that I saw on a totally different note that I never got to mention before. But I saw this video like a year ago. There's all different types of weird stuff in Japan. We know this, but it's weird in a cool way. And if you try to criticize it and say it's bad, you're just a Philistine, in my opinion. And have all those weird game shows and whatnot. And I think most people probably seen like the karaoke where you're getting jacked off by someone. And that's pretty cool. I don't know if I want to do that though. I just kind of like, if I'm getting jacked off, I kind of just want to enjoy it. And if I'm doing karaoke, I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to mix the two. I'm the type of guy who does not like peanut butter and chocolate together necessarily. But there was one thing that I did like. It was right up my alley, this game show. It's just you get jacked off. You just get jacked off. That's the game. And you have two guys. Just grab two guys off the street. And the girls, I imagine, I don't speak Japanese, but it's like, oh, do you want to get jacked off? Sure. Or whatever, something like that. And they got another guy and asked him. And they go in a room. And they put like this little banner up to cover their penises or whatever, the actual engaging of the genitals. You don't want to put that on TV, but the camera did turn around a little bit and it was just blurred out. But yeah, the game was just whoever busts first loses or wins. I can't tell. Maybe the game wasn't between the guys, it was between the girls that were jacking them off, and your goal was to make the guy bust first. Yeah, I think that was it. That makes sense, because if the real loser in that, like the winner is the guy who busts first, and the loser is the guy who doesn't bust. Cause they ain't jack him off. They just like, oh, the game's over. And this guy has a fucking hard ass dick that didn't bust. That's been brought to 90% and didn't bust. What the fuck? I hope the guy who didn't bust got paid for it at least. But weird stuff. We need to bring that to America. So I know people do that type of stuff in America, but it's not like a TV game show. It's like just weird stuff you do, like on a podcast or for like that seemed like something that you'd see on the Howard Stern show. But I mean, they never did that in particular, I don't think. But it seemed like something that's that wouldn't be coming on after Family Feud, you know, even though it should be. That's family content. Because we all know, like if you're got dad, mom, let's say you got a daughter, son, if they're both above, well, if the boy is above like 12, the guy's already fucking jacking off to the hardest of hardcore stuff already. I'm not saying I was that, because, you know, I wasn't. But chances are, your little fucking 13-year-old kid is freaking using up his cock on jacking off to just, you know, whatever, the panoply of pornography on the internet. So why we gotta act like we don't like we're not incredibly sexual and have an insatiable thirst for masturbation or full on sex, you know? And it's also, I'm not, again, maybe I could talk about my personal relationship to porn and sex in general another day. But my observation on this is how we're gonna have such a, you know, I don't feel comfortable saying this by myself. I have to have another person here to level me out, 'cause I'm just gonna be a weird guy talking alone about pornography. So I'll move on. But I'm just saying, check out, if you want to see that video I was talking about, Google hand job contest on YouTube, and hey, maybe that's enough for you to bust too. Maybe you could jack off to that. It's pretty cool. You just got like somewhat pornographic material. The girls are pretty hot too. Girls are pretty hot, like I say. So I'm just saying, I think I'm doing you a solid. I'm thinking I'm doing you a solid, so you can produce some liquid. Gross. But speaking of sexual stuff and whining, dining, romancing, I had an idea of like maybe it's a sketch show that's really offensive, but it's like it starts off with a bunch of kids just at the playground, you know, at your local park, and there's no supervision. There's just the kids there, and they hear the footsteps of an adult, and they know who it is, and the kids are all trying to run away because they know it's coming. And there's this one kid that's just this one kind of chubby kid who's stuck in the slide, and he can't get away in time. And the molestation super boss is here, and he plays his music like he has the fucking Megalovania music playing. And you finish that. You finish how that. You imagine how that ends. The molestation super boss and the fat kid who's stuck in the slide. He gets traumatized. I don't know, something else with that. But molestation super boss really got me though. Thought that was pretty funny. He just goes around. He walks like it's kind of like a molestation super boss, like a combination of, you know, super boss from a video game, like Herobrine. Like the mere sight of them and evokes fear, you know. But at the same time, it's very hard to run away. You feel like you're running so hard you can't get away. And the molestation super boss, there's been a couple in my community. I shouldn't say super boss, but there's been a couple molesters I lived around and did not feel safe. But there were so many bad things going on that you know, he was like not even a priority, because in my neighborhood he was like the neighborhood sex offender. There was two. For some reason where I lived, they had two sex offenders, and like they were a block away from the park. Like, it's a park where kids play on the weekends. During the week, there's football practice there. Like, this is not high school. This is like middle school and younger kids fucking practice. Like, it's like if you gave fucking Herbert the pervert like a spy camera in the boys' bathroom. Like, this is, why would you put them that close? Like, put them where all the old people live. Put them like far away from any recreational center as possible. But you have two child molesters right next to a park. Whatever. New Orleans is a very functional city. Like, isn't there a city in Florida where they just put all the child molesters in? That doesn't seem healthy either. Something about that seems wrong to me. But whatever. That's better than this setup. But whatever. They're all black kids anyway, so they could take it. There was this guy that I saw. I was trying to, study more about the politics of other countries. And there's this guy called Geert Wilders. You probably know him if you're really hipping about it. Geert Wilders, or Wilders, like the head of the leader. Wait a second. He's a leader of the Party for Freedom. With some right-wing bullshit party. But he looks like a 72-year-old, 14-year-old. Like he has a youthfulness, but his face is very old and ugly. Like he has like the ugliness of a 14-year-old, but it's an old man's aging. I really can't describe it. You have to look at a picture, but the picture I'm referring to is the first one on Wikipedia. Like he has the way a 14-year-old white kid would look like, but his face never changed since then. It just got older. And it doesn't help that he has like some sort of pimple or cyst, some kind of mole on his middle between his eyebrows. He's a very ugly guy. You might be into him. Maybe he serves good pipe. And he's 57. You don't have an excuse to look that bad, my man. But whatever. Don't really know much more about him than that. Besides, he got his little bullshit party. He wrote 3 books. No, he was in 3 movies. Whatever. Other thing. Now, something that happened to me. Actually, let me stop right here. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I had to get my chicken out of the oven. And yeah. But anyways, the thing that happened to me this week is that I got pretty desperate. Not desperate. Had a fixation on sugar. Something that I just can't beat. Sugar is my crack. And I hate how addictive they make food. When you have some heightened regulation on sweet treats or something like that, you might think that's silly, or that I need to get a better hold of my sweet treat addiction. And, that could be true. But once tens of millions of people suffer from a sweet treat addiction, similar to the opioid crisis, it ceases to be an individual issue. It starts to be a systemic thing, So, you might say one person's a piece of shit because they're always unemployed. But when you have, I don't know where it's at right now, but at one point this year, damn near 30% unemployment. Maybe you have a systemic issue with the economic order. Or even before this, you have relatively high amounts of unemployment. Well, it's not your individual fault. You're just the random victim of the economy. And I feel like I'm the random victim of sweet treats because they're cheap, they taste good, and but they're bad for you. And we should have some regulations on that. But my point is though, I went to the my local vending machine. I walked on campus and I went to the only vending machine I could get into. And I went like at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I, swiped my card, and I saw there was a Snickers bar, and I really wanted it. So I swiped it. The Snickers bar was like coming out, but it got stuck. It didn't drop all the way down. So I'm like, fuck. Okay, I'll swipe it again. I'll get the Snickers bar again, and the one that I got the first time, and then one behind it will come out, and it comes down. First one's come down. The little swivel thing that holds the candy kept spinning. I'm like, okay, the second one's about to fall down. Nope, stopped. So, all right, I've been burned too many times with the fucking sunk cost fallacy thing. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna take my Snickers. I'm gonna go home. But I was just thinking, almost every day for the past week, the fucking Snickers bar that got away. And I went back yesterday, it was today, to the vending machine just to see if it was still there. Because who's buying vending machine? Like, no one's on campus. School's not in session. Barely anyone's living on campus right now. Who's buying this? The janitor? He has a job, and he could buy real food. He can buy real TV dinners. But yeah, somebody got it though, and they got a free Snickers bar, which freaking sucks. Cause all I had to do was like shake it and get it out. But it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to attract attention because there's been many times when I went by that vending machine over the past 6 months, and the cops were on my trail, and I had to get out of there, and I didn't want to stick around any longer than I wanted to. And I guess I could talk about that right now, even though I think I might talked about that during the Pokemon Sword and Shield days, but whatever. There was multiple times where I woke up in like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, man, I'm hungry and I don't feel like cooking right now. And I'm not spending $30 to get a freaking, some sort of early morning meal from DoorDash. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to walk to the vending machine, spend $1.50 on a bag of M&Ms, get a sugar rush, start doing work, and 20 minutes later crash and go to sleep. And the cycle of my bad relation to food continues. So one day I got up at 2. I went to the vending machine. Honestly, very dark outside. Not that many lights. I'm walking. I get to the vending machine, get what I want. As I'm walking back, I see, like where I was, I see the cop car flashing its lights coming around the campus. And I'm like, oh fuck, they have cameras around here. They might think I'm being sus because I'm in a dark hoodie, doing sus shit with my hands in my pockets. I don't know. So they might have saw me on the cams and wanted to see who's in the area. So I ran back to inside my apartment and I hid in the shadows, like the ninja I am. You may not think it from the sights of me, but I do have 100 sneak. But I still need to level up to get a new perk, so I get the little roll. I don't have the roll yet, but I do have 100 sneak. And I sat in the shadows and I looked at the cop car to see where it was going. I was like, was it really trying to get me? And it went exactly where I was. So the car was suspicious. Like, who the fuck is here at 2 a.m? And it was me. And I don't know if that exchange would have went well, but the cop missed me. But that wasn't the only time where I had an interaction where I barely missed the cops. I tried to do the same thing, maybe 2 or 3 a.m, go to the vending machine, get something. And I walked. I did try to do the same thing, run back to my apartment. But this time the apartment gate was open. So the cop, I think, went into the apartment complex, tried to find whoever the person was. And I didn't go in through the front gate. I went through a different entrance to the apartment. Obviously, you don't notice, you don't have the visual. But the cop was essentially searching for me, and the cop's path was between me and my apartment. So I had to do like a little stealth mission to get around where the cop was. And I could see the cop. Like, there was a point where I was like at the edge of a building, right around the corner of a building was me, and I saw the cops flash like, come my way. I turned around, booked it, took another right, take 2 rights around the opposite side of the building, and missed the cop. And the cop never saw me. I eventually ran into my apartment. That was pretty scary stuff, because that cop was definitely looking for me. Like, I saw in the parking lot from where I couldn't see the parking lot, but I could see the flashing lights coming from that direction, like of the cop car, and I was trying to run away. And yeah, real life stealth missions. And guess what, people? If you've never been in a real life stealth mission, they suck too in real life. So, fuck, man. And that's pretty stressful. But I did get a nice little adrenaline rush, which is nice to feel. I haven't had one of those in a bit. And there's like another cop instance, but it was very similar to the first two. But yeah, I'm the victim of police racism, because they profiled me as a brown man in a hoodie, and they tried to chase me. Who cares if, you're a cop. If there's suspicious stuff going on, like it would be suspicious by a regular person. I feel like you should have a higher level of judgment to where normal stuff that is intuitively suspicious to a normal person, but you would know that's bullshit because you're a cop. Like a person walking on campus in the middle of the night is suspicious to a normal person, but it's not. It shouldn't be for a cop. But whatever. That cop was probably bored anyways. Half asleep. 2 a.m. Just wants to go home. So, But, I didn't do that again. I made sure if I ever want to go to a vending machine, I just wait until the sun is up. Because they don't care then. Which, if I had good judgment, I already would have known that. But, whatever. That's my running with the cops or lack thereof. But, oh, fuck. I should have made this towards the beginning. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. Rest in peace, Apollo Legend. Rest in peace, MF Doom. And I have no way to tribute any of these people. Because for one, I don't really know who Apollo Legend is. I just know he was a speedrunner who quit speedrunning like a year ago. I think he got bullied off the internet for getting exposed for cheating in a speedrun. And then recently he killed himself. So that sucks. And then Brody Lee, a wrestler, been in the game for about 15, 20 years. Had a very, lengthy stint in WWE, part of the Wyatt family. Left WWE, went to AEW. Don't know how he did there, but, if the response to his death is any clue, the only thing you could really take from it is that he's wildly beloved and he will not be forgotten anytime soon. He died of some sort of lung infection, and yeah, that sucks. And what else can I say about him? He's it's something about when a guy dies and he's not the toppest tiers of legends and whatever the thing is. It's hard to talk about them because you sound like you're disrespecting them. I feel like he was a good, solid wrestler. He had some entertaining moments, but he was never used to the best of his abilities, and that's not because of him. It's because when you go to WWE, you're probably not going to be used to the best of your abilities because, Vince McMahon couldn't grab his ass with 2 hands or whatever the saying is. But, again, much respect to Brody Lee, his wife, his kid. Hope you'll have, are dealing with this quite well. And hope you'll have a wonderful life, even though you're missing someone who is so essential to it. Again, I'm going to say MF Doom. This is one, never the biggest MF Doom fan. Solid rapper. Not for me. But they always say he's your rapper's favorite rapper. And, I'll take their word for it. But does MF Doom have any significance to me? Not really. But I can respect a legend when I see one. And it certainly was that. And see all the tributes to him and whatever. It's certainly something. Because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that I never heard people talk about MF Doom. And maybe that's because he hasn't had many projects in the past 10 years. But I don't know if that's the case. Let's see. I'm going to Google MF Doom discography. Because I feel like the only time MF Doom was ever coming up, it was making fun of his fans. And that's pretty much it. No, I never heard that many people talk about his quality of work besides, Peep the Rhyme Scheme. But again, that goes back to just making fun of his fans. So the last real thing he came out with some a collaborative album in 2018 with Czarface. That's a cool name, but it's a rapper I never heard of. And so he's done stuff more recently, but then again, it doesn't seem like it really made such a big impact. He had a little something with West Side Gun in 2017. Surprised I haven't heard that. But yeah, MF Doom, big loss. I just watched a interview actually. It was literally 2 days before his death was announced. And it was talking about he would love to do a project with Kanye. And I don't think he ever got to do that because I usually keep up with Kanye, and it does not seem like that is the case. Nope. Damn. That makes the death even more bitter. But maybe now I can get into his stuff and really appreciate him in the afterlife. But that's that. There are probably some other deaths that are probably pretty important that I didn't hear of. But there's like thousands and thousands of people dying every day whose story does not get to be told over and over again. But that's live. Let's turn it around to do something positive, or do something that's a little bit funny, I guess. So this week I do the laundry. I know that's not a much of a thing to announce. Most people do the laundry every week, but I do my laundry probably like once a month because I'm really lazy and I'm not even gonna go there. But anyways, I got to a point where I had to clean the laundry because I had no clothes to wear, and like literally no clothes to wear. All I had was my overcoat and some basketball shorts that were a little too tight, a little too small, and I didn't have any underwear. I didn't have any socks, so I had just shoes, pea coat, and tight, too small basketball shorts. So usually I go wash the clothes. I go to the laundromat very early, like 5:15 in the morning, so I don't have to talk to anyone. Because I don't want to deal with anyone. I don't want anyone seeing me, especially in that state. And I got my clothes together. I walked down the stairs to go to the laundromat, and as I'm walking, I'm realizing my ass is completely out because my pants just like they can't stay up. There's this right below where my ass ends. And my pea coat, my chest is out. It's not covering my chest, and it's like the way that it's cut, like the stomach. You can see my stomach and whatever. You can't really see my stomach that much. It's more the chest, I guess, but it's just ass, chest, dick print looking very. It was fucking see it very nicely, and yeah, just looking like a hot mess, hoping no one sees me. And the more like I try to pull my overcoat back to cover my butt, but you could just see my stomach. And you just see I'm just basically I'm walking around naked, like everything is covered besides my dick and balls pretty much. But it was fine for now because the sun wasn't up, and I was putting my clothes in the washer. I go back to the room. 30 minutes later, come back down to the laundromat, switch the clothes over, and as I'm finishing switching the clothes over, girl walks in. And good thing I was facing the door as she coming in, because if I was turned around, she just saw all my asshole. And luckily she didn't see. She might have saw my chest. Well, whatever. I have a sexy hairy chest. Some girls are into that. Some girls are not. But whatever. I'm not here to flirt at the fucking laundromat. I'm in a desperate situation where I have no underwear left, and the underwear that isn't the wash, half of it is fucking ripped anyways. I'm in a desperate situation, and so I'm waiting an hour. Come back at 7:00. Go to the laundromat. Girl's in there again. And I'm like, fuck. The sun is up at this point, but I tried to walk around her, make sure she can't see me from the back or anything. Ass is out the whole time. Never covered it up again. And she eventually leaves. I just wait for her to leave. I take my, she looked at me weird. She side-eyed me for a little split second, so maybe she did see something. But that's pretty fucked up. Side-eyed me. I'm struggling right now. And side-eye me. How about you ever can help a brother out, and not judge me, I guess. But yeah, I get my clothes. I go home, but the sun is out. It's like 7:00 later after 7:00. So if anyone was outside, they definitely just saw me walk around, cheeks out, and hopefully no one did. But yeah, wild times in New Orleans. There's definitely been more revealing. There's definitely been more naked people with less clothes on going outside, going to Walmart with just everything hanging out. So I wouldn't even say that I'm even top 10 of these cases, but whatever. But there's another thing I was thinking about in my just barely being able to hold it together. Is that I get my groceries ordered these days because I don't have a car, and it's pretty hard to walk 2 miles to the grocery store and carry my groceries back. So I use Instacart, get my stuff delivered, which I feel like that's something that like a rich person does, get their groceries delivered. But I feel like guilty for doing that because that person is like, something about it just feels wrong to me. But whatever, it's a service that I pay for, and it doesn't cost that much more than getting the groceries regular, and just like cost like, it's like the amount, whatever the price of your grocery is plus a tip is basically the cost of an Instacart order. But the lady she was like a West Indian lady, probably from Jamaica, telling by her accent, and she comes to where I am, and I come down to get the groceries, and she's giving me the groceries, and I walk up, and she gets the rest, walk up. And now this is a different day now, so I got my regular clothes on, my ass is not out, and she's walking behind me. No, I'm perfectly clothed, but yeah, she walks behind me. I get all my groceries in the room, and I come back outside, and she asks me, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" It's like, you seem like you're not okay. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she's like, "I must be the mask then." And she was like, "Okay, have a nice day." And it's not much of an interaction, but she knew I'm tortured, lonely, disappointed, just in a bad place right now. And she can't be the first person to see that. And it really made me uncomfortable because everyone can see it. It's just like she was the only, out of hundreds of people that I've interacted with directly, she's the only person to point that out. Everyone else just kind of sits there, which, that's what everyone does. If something bad's happening, they just walk away. They be a person, getting cleaved to death, and they'll just walk away. It's an individualized bystander effect, because it's not like a group of people are looking at me and saying and not doing anything. It's like every individual person I deal with does not deal with the elephant in the room, which is, I'm just not in a good place. But it's not their responsibility to look out for their fellow man, I guess. And so I'm gonna handle my problems by my own. But I'm really not in a good place right now, and she knew that. But I wonder what she would have done if I started talking about stuff that's really been getting at me. Would she listen? I mean, she's on the clock right now. I don't think she would need to hear that anyways. But I said nothing was wrong, and I moved on my day because I'm an aspiring, strong black woman, and it's just not. It's not going that way. Yeah, I'm having a tough time. But what I fill my thoughts with, or fill my time with thinking about various things, and try not to think about the past, not try to pressure myself with the future too much. And then when I'm not thinking, maybe watch some sports highlights. One of the sports highlights was this Tulsa, Mississippi State fight from what was the last game of the regular season in college. And just after the game, they just started fighting each other for no reason. I don't know what started it. I didn't watch the full game. I just saw the video of them fighting, and I'm like, man, this is kind of cool. I like this. I like seeing fights. I like seeing passion. I like seeing people, fuck each other up. It's just a cool thing to watch. But yeah, the fight went on for 2 minutes, or a minute and a half, something like that. And someone ended up getting injured. Someone limped off, and the commentators I don't know in particular what they said. I don't remember what they particularly said, but it was basically like the Joe Buck, "What a disgusting act." They did that. That was basically their commentary. And then the people in the comments, a guy in the comments said, "These players are fucking thugs. They ain't learn how to play the game correctly." I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You can't. It's so obvious that you have this sort of thinly veiled racism, or at least appeal to hierarchy. That's really disgusting, my man. It's these players should step in line. Yeah. The guy in the comment called them thugs and said, you get a scholarship while all these other college students they get pennies and have to take all these loans and have all these tough times. I would kill to play football for a scholarship. And it's dude, you're just mad because you're not talented enough to get a scholarship for any of the dumb shit you go into college for. 2, calling them thugs. Come on, you know what that means. Even if you're not racist, you know what that means. Come on, what the fuck? And Then 3, if you watch a sports fight and your take, especially if you're not a fan of either team, and your take is anything other than this is cool or I hope nobody gets hurt. If it's anything else than that, you can suck my dick, because it's a sports. They're killing it. It's football. You're killing each other. You're shortening each other's lives, or at least like you're fucking up each other's brain health long term. And we can't enjoy a good fight with people punching each other. And some of those punches some of those people didn't have helmets on. They had like the strength and conditioning coach out there taking punches with the fucking football players. And you telling me this isn't funny and cool? And you didn't even like say you worried for their health. You're not worried about the guy who like looked like he tore his ACL out there. But no, they're thugs. They're ungrateful thugs. The Negroid mind cannot handle responsibility, even though the body possesses a great capability. Those fucking thugs. Suck my ball sack, dude. What the fuck? Anyways, we need to have more. I would love to have more mass at the palace type of incidents, but you never really get that in football, really, unless you get like it's an away game, and I mean maybe I don't know what the Raiders game. I mean I always forgot COVID whatever, but like I imagine if like a Chiefs player was at Oakland and jumped into the black hole after he made a touchdown, some of those fans would get rowdy and try to fuck that guy up. And like imagine if Tyreek Hill did that. He got like punched in the stomach or something. He would have went ham. The instincts would have went off. The thuggery would have ensued. And it would have been a hell of a controversy. And he probably got suspended for like 8 games. But it would have been cool though. Just like the mask in the past was cool. And no one should have got suspended for that. It should have been all fair in fucking basketball and war. But anyways, I was also having the very fake deep thoughts about how, man, football is like traditional warfare and basketball is like a prolonged guerrilla warfare. And I would want to extend this metaphor to other sports, but I don't know anything else about other sports. I kind of like baseball, but it's not really. It's so much a game that it's not really a good analog for any particular style of warfare. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm just not thinking hard enough. But yeah, football reminds me of like open pitch battle sort of warfare, and like think of like there's only 16 games in the season plus the little playoff games. Jesus Christ, sorry. Like football has, a relatively short season, and every game is so important. Where like in like maybe if you think about Roman battles, any singular battle is extremely important, and it doesn't really take that many battles to win a war. In classical or even towards the modern era of wars, it's more prolonged because higher amount of men, more things are at stake, politically saying. I mean, things were really, and the technology allows for longer wars, I guess. But back then, they did have stakes. Like, if you lost, there's a good chance that like a large percentage of your population was going to just be slaves now. Not to say that there weren't stakes back then, but, it does, the football analogy, I feel like really works with classical warfare. And the basketball, just very long season, all these fucking games, and you're just hoping that you're just picking off teams. You could beat a team in contention, jump up the rankings every now and then, just keep it consistent, and just hopefully you're able to win games at such a margin, but you don't have to play guys 38 to 42 minutes, and risk injury. You don't stick your neck out that much. And maybe if you're really having a good day or somebody has the hot hand that night, maybe you can upset a better team and maybe go on a little shriek and maybe surprise with a high playoff seed and do something in the playoffs. I do feel guerrilla warfare is more like that. You're trying to beat a superior enemy by just outlasting them. Within the game itself, that could be true, but over the season, I mean, so maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe World War I works for baseball, because World War I, a lot of downtime, a lot of hanging out time. I mean, it wasn't chill, obviously. Yeah, I don't want to hang out in the trench with shit and piss and rats everywhere. But a lot of time where you weren't shooting. I mean, I like baseball. You take turns with stuff. You take turns with who's batting, and then in the trenches you have the dudes taking turns who's gonna be in the front and who's gonna be in the back or whatever. I don't know, but the season's over now, and this will be going up on Wild Card Saturday. Let's fucking go! I think, right? Yeah, I think so. And the Saints have secured their season at 12-4. And let's look up those NFL fucking playoff standings. Because right now, I mean, since there's 7 fucking teams in the playoffs now, and I don't like that, because there's just one team gets a bye. But so Saints got the 2nd seed, but they don't get a bye. They get to play the Bears though, which, I would say, oh, that's just good as a bye. But no, you can get injured in that game. And the Bears are they're not super easy, and I'm afraid Khalil Mack might hurt Drew Brees. We have Seahawks Rams, which that looks good, and Washington versus the Bucks, which I fucking hate that so much. So the Bears are better than Washington, but the Saints, the winner of the fucking NFC South, gets the harder team. I already don't like this. Why isn't just fucking abolish the division system? Just make it just raw number of games that you win. Or whatever. I think the Saints will do beat the Bears. It might be a little bit close, but Packers Saints, I think that's I'm edging Saints on that one. Saints got a pretty solid defense last time I checked, and I feel like the Packers are gonna it's gonna be a nice little maybe 38-31 affair, but I think the Saints pull that out. Even though, oh fuck, it might be snowing that day. Ooh, never mind then. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot it's going to be a away game for the Saints. Yeah, I don't know. But my prediction for the NFC Championship, though, I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. It's going to be fucking Saints. It's going to be Saints, Seahawks. NFC Championship. AFC Championship. It's going to be Chiefs. It's going to be Chiefs, Titans. Chiefs, Titans. Chiefs beat the Titans. And I think Saints beat the Seahawks. Saints, Chiefs, Super Bowl. And I think the Chiefs will win that Super Bowl too. That's what I'm thinking. That's my prediction. Put your money on it. The one thing I was guessing, what would the line be for the Bucks Washington team game? And I thought it was gonna be 6.5, and I was very close. It was 7.5 at the time I looked at it. So I would definitely take the Bucks to win by more than 7.5. But whatever. I'm getting a little long in the tooth here. I'm over an hour, and there's one thing I want to talk about. Oh, it was fucking the Joe Horn story, and I'll put down here remembering Kyle Long's dong. I guess I could do that. Fuck it. So I remember I saw Joe Horn at Walmart. Joe Horn was the star wide receiver for the Saints in the aughts, and the city. I thought the city loved him or whatever. But I guess as soon as you're off the team, we just forget about you. He retired. I forget which year, but this is I feel like a year or so after his retirement. And I was in Walmart one day, and Mom was checking out, and I was in the line to check out. And I turned around, and the area right behind the lines, Joe Horn was there selling grills. He was in the apron selling grills, and he was like, you can get a picture with Joe Horn and buy a grill. And guess how many people was hurrying up to see Joe Horn? 0, zilch, nada, nil. Not a nigger wanted to see him. Had to use hard R there because he fucking disrespected a Saints legend, Joe Horn. God damn, from the multiple 1,000-yard seasons to the fucking The freaking famous getting a cell phone from the goalpost and calling somebody celebration. That was pretty cool. And now my man can't even get no respect at Walmart. Now, maybe he went to the Chapatoulas Walmart. He probably did though. Maybe he got a better reception at the different Walmarts. But the one in Algiers, my man's getting no respect. Looking like Ronnie Dangerfield out here. But that's my Joe Horn story. And since I was like 11, probably 12 or 13. I didn't have the gumption to go say, "Hey, Joe Horn, I'm a fan. I remember you're pretty good in Madden, and you're pretty cool in real life too." And then say, "Hey, little man," he was probably like, "Hey, big man, you play football?" And I'm like, "No, I'm too much of a bitch. I'm too much of a soft ass bitch to play football." And at that time, I did not want to have more people tell me how much of a bitch I was for not playing football. Stuff like that really forms who I am. It's just have everyone just judge you for not doing something that they want you to do. That's why I'm the broken man I am now. It's just a continuing series of being invalidated in everything I want to do in life. Okay, my mom just texted me. We going back in the lockdown because of Corona. That's fine. That's fun. That's so fucking fun. I got another text here. More on the news. Yeah, so New Orleans about to go into full-on fucking lockdown again, and it's probably going to be another 6 months of fucking bullshit. I'm tired of this. I'm going crazy. Goddamn, why couldn't I got a girlfriend right before this? So I could at least bust some nuts. God damn. Oh yeah, but I guess before I go, one thing I want to remember Kyle Long's dong, because I remember in the comment section of various videos talking about Kyle Long's penis. Like a lot of the women in there said, "Ooh, there was nice and tasty looking, nice sizable sausage Kyle Long's packing. I would love to straddle that man or whatever." I'm paraphrasing. But every man was like, "Man, he got a fucking shrimp. Did he just take a dip in the fucking ice bath? My dick is so bigger than that." And I was like, okay. I was curious as the split reaction to this man's penis. I mean, this is a year ago, but I just got reminded of it. I know it's a year ago. Why are you talking about oh shit? Shut the fuck up. I'll fuck you up. Tell me why I'm talking about oh shit. But so I went to go look at his penis again, uncensored version, and his penis was like, okay, like if I don't understand, like it's a solid penis. There's no debating that. I think people just mad because when they see a man's penis like on a computer, they usually see watching pornography, and that's a porn star's fully torqued up hog, at 8+ inches. This man was rocking a flaccid while changing his clothes, and y'all putting shame on his game because he had 5 inches flaccid. Some of y'all fucking broke boys can't get 5 inches hard, and y'all putting shame on Kyle Long's game. But whatever, much respect to Kyle Long's penis, and I'm tired of people acting like they got a big penis. Everyone has a 5.5 besides 3 people, which includes me and the 2 porn stars that everyone watches, the 2 male porn stars that are in every porn. I don't know. I don't watch porn that much. I don't really stare at men's penis, but know a lot of y'all do. Just love watching penises go into vaginas and y'all watching the penis part. But no shame in that though. I say I rock the solid 7.9, and sometimes it's a blessing and a curse. Great print, but hard to master. And I'd say on that note, this has been episode 9 of the M.A.D.House podcast. If you enjoyed this, leave a high rating on iTunes or something, the equivalent on SoundCloud, or tell your friends about it, whatever. If you didn't really enjoy this, hey, leave me some feedback. You probably did already if you didn't enjoy it. But feedback is nice. I need some positive reinforcement, or at least some constructive criticism. And with that, I will come back to another episode of the M.A.D.House next Saturday. Episode 10, it will be a free one coming out on the 16th, I should say. That'll be episode 10. There'll be no videos coming up this week. So yeah, it's gonna be another week until you hear my beautiful voice again. But I do have over 500 videos on this channel that you can watch. And if you go to my best work playlist, you can see some of my best videos. So you can check those out and whatnot. But until next time, have a beautiful week, beautiful day, many beautiful nights. And hopefully one day you could spawn many beautiful children. See you later.